Bullet, Silver Slippers. Then Rose of Lincoln starting to work home between horses coming through now. The favourite just needs to get off heels now. It's in the clear, Rose of Lincoln. It's coming hard at Almighty Bullet. Then came Dabba Marak Secret Vintage, but the last favourite wins. Rose of Lincoln did a big job. Won by a half length.
What a win that was. Quinny looking after the team. Rose of Lincoln. It took us till race 8 Adelaide, but finally something. It was a very long day.
Are you going to fill people in on why that win's got some significance?
I just sent you a message at about 2 o'clock saying, have you got anything for our tipping? And he said, Rose of Lincoln, they're tipping it big in the last
I got a text off Quinny too, and I gladly accepted it, forgot to back it, and then I was sitting there punching away on the in the press room at Caulfield, and I get a text message, "Yo, beauty," and I'm just going,
there was no crowing. I actually just tipped it because I liked the emojis that I could use with it, the little Rose and the little Lincoln hat as well. So.
No, you told me that there was a big spruik, so that wasn't even a real tip.
It was a real tip, but I always like it when I could throw the little emoticons in as well.
Well, if there was an emoticon, I don't even know what it is, if there was an emotional add-on to the Caulfield Cup Day to happen in the Norman Robinson Stakes with the Gelagotus boys, the sad passing of their father during the week, and they managed to train Havastan, and Bossy has claimed that he only half rode it and the old man was the other half. And look, sometimes racing throws these sorts of stories up.
Certainly does. It was sensational scenes.
Absolutely, and I mean, how many times in the last decade have we seen sort of Damien Oliver when he lost his brother and looked to the sky after riding Media Puzzle and there wasn't a dry eye in the mounting yard? It was exactly the same yesterday at Caulfield on Saturday. Everyone was getting right behind the family, and they said they wear their hearts on their sleeves, and they really showed.
Well, and this horse is Derby bound. It's a real live chance, and Bossy, we spoke to him on Saturday on another show, and he said, absolutely, I think I can win the Derby with this horse. Plenty of saying, though, as you look at the replay, there was a bit of buffeting going on there down the straight.
There certainly was. Cabayan got a nice hip and shoulder there as Bossy come through, and he sort of spat the dummy after that. He didn't want any part of the race, but great ride by Glenn Bossy. Weaved the passage. He did it earlier in the day on Alan Need, and then he went and used the same path again on Avasta.
Yeah, and if you have a look at the Derby market now, and It's a Done Deal was in its stable and is trimmed up by $1.
Well, the
it's
opposition...
$2.20. Normally the Norman Robinson / the Amy Vars winner goes straight into the Derby as the favourite. The Amy Vars, there might only be half a dozen
Well,
runners.
there's a chance there that It's a Done Deal now could run in the Vars. Early on they were saying that they're not going to, but Bjorn Baker during the week...
4 weeks between runs got to be...
He said he's done so well since his win in the Spring Champion that there's a big chance he could run in the Vars.
We say 4 weeks between runs. There's horses called French horses have 4 months between runs, and we don't bat an eyelid.
I think there was a horse over the weekend in England and one of the marathon races, 4,000 metres or 5,000 metres, hadn't raced for nearly 2 years.
How would It's a Done Deal go in the Cox Plate?
No, I don't think he's seasoned enough yet. He races around and he's still...
Wouldn't handle the Valley?
No, I don't know about not handling the Valley.
Might handle a seasoned horses.
Yeah,
They give him a bump and knock him into next week.
Exactly.
Some of the smart jockeys have put him off.
He only weighs about 430 kilos. He's not a very big horse.
Are you on at $3?
Yes.
You tipped everybody on into $3.
Go you a good thing.
What about $2.20 then?
No.
Would you steer them away from $2.20?
Oh, it depends what happens on the day. The $3 is good odds. I don't want to be taking $2.20 now. I
want to put your eyes on a couple of emails, particularly with regards to the scratching of Philippi that we received during the week. And it said, I know I don't own the horse, but the scratching of Philippi on Friday after final acceptance is a bit of a joke, given the horse apparently was already on the way to the paddock. Deductions are one thing, but all in betting means I've done my coin cold on the Derby, says Rod from Mount Isa. And I can understand that one, but, mate, there's a big sign that says betting is all in.
Exactly. It takes gamble responsibly, as they say.
No, but in his defence, though, like, why not reveal the fact that the horse is in the paddock? Because if he was going to have a bet on Saturday, he might have had $20 on to win Saturday and then a sneaky $5 for the Derby, which he's now lost. But if the horse is in the paddock, he's not going to do either of those bets. So I think he's entitled to be aggravated.
OK, I'm throwing this one up just because I want to put the kibosh on It's a Done Deal. I'm not going to early crow Russ or Neil because I hate it as much as you, but can anyone tell me how are they going to beat It's a Done Deal in the Derby?
Oh, we said that last week.
Steve,
anyway.
5 Doc.
Oh, it's true.
How are they going to beat Prasier in the Champion? How are they going to beat Piero in the Caulfield Guineas? How are they going to beat It's a Done Deal?
Time will tell.
$2.20 before weights, acceptances, barrier draws. Well, I know
he is unbeaten. He's 5 from 5 or 6 from 6, whatever his record is. He's won over 1,200 metres in New Zealand.
Is there anything else that...
he's won, he's beat older horses. What more does he need to do?
He's the biggest moral in the Derby since Who Begot You.
But he got beat.
Exactly.
Havastan, Electric Fusion, Honorius. Well, Jamando can't run the distance.
He went awful yesterday.
Cabayan can't run the distance.
What about Desert Warrior?
Our Desert Warrior.
It can't come down.
No, down for Geelong, running at Geelong on Wednesday. Hopefully can return to the winners list.
It was
go to
awful.
Derby.
It was awful at Geelong.
Hang on, there might be a tweet coming in. Might be a tweet coming in from one of those gay lovers as well.
Leave me out
What
of
price are Desert Warrior?
You're only just hoping it because you want it
$41.
at $11. You want it
41?
Yes.
What do you want it? 12s? 11s?
14.
Yeah, exactly. Good odds there. Good shopping, Quinny.
That's the boys, the girls, the 1,000 guineas and the ethereal were the races, the lead up, of course, to the Oaks. And the Oaks now looks, you did steer us into this one as well, Zydeco.
Yes.
From the Freedman stable. Have a look at the run. Obviously, commanding duel, winning the 1,000 guineas and winning impressively. Well under Damien Oliver. Takes a big man to stand up in the face of adversity and do what you did, and it was a fabulous ride. But from an Oaks perspective, she's gone to the paddock. What about Zydeco?
I think she's clearly the one to beat now. I think you can still get $4. And unlike Brent with It's a Done Deal...
Butter it up with Done Deal, it's $8.80 the double.
That's not the worst bet I've ever heard.
What about Dear Demi? Her run was fantastic from a wide gate. Jimmy Cassidy did the same thing as Craig Williams. Snagged back to the fence and she had no luck in the straight. She's crying out, I reckon, for 2,000 metres and maybe even 24.
Who would
The
you
good
back,
news
though,
is
out of
the
the
only,
two now? Who
the
would
only
you back?
thing is, I back Dear Demi in the fly.
I'd back whoever's the longest price between Dear Demi and Zydeco. I don't know. There's not much between them for mine.
The thing that Dear Demi doesn't need and Zydeco does is Zydeco to me looks like it needs a really red hot pace, and you don't get a fast pace. You saw Machine crawl last year, won by whatever. Miss Finland won when it was a crawl. Samantha Miss.
Exactly.
So you need a horse that's going to be up on the pace. They don't fly anymore.
Often it can just be the best filly in the race, not the best, and not the best staying.
They win
filly.
on brilliance.
Yeah, no, exactly.
What about Alzora from the Hayes stable?
I don't know if that form line's strong enough. There was like a couple of runners in that race. They backed. Was the Darley
Cameo,
one?
yeah. Cameo to soft run.
Coming out of pretty average sort of form races. And
Summer Bliss might be the one.
Her run was good.
Third up into an Oaks, though. She's obviously got something about her, and she's got C. Williams on board.
I think that's the B class compared to the 1,000 guineas for sure.
Speaking of C. Williams, had plenty of tweets and emails about how good he is, and here's another one on the Punters Paradise Forum. He is just the dead set best. Craig Williams, any day worldwide, Australia's best. Bossy seems to come good on the big days with a few winners. Nick Hall, underestimated, gets a good horse and comes to the fore occasionally, but certainly take Williams any day worldwide.
Nick Hall got himself in a bit of strife with stewards there on Saturday for a couple of his rides. He was warned on Machine. He got suspended for Electric Fusion, and he's out of action until the Bendigo Cup next week.
OK, we're going to take another break here on Talkin Thru Your Kick. Plenty more to come as we head to a break, though. Don't forget our great mates at Grand Syndicates. Well, that little Hidden Dragon filly that I had, I'm involved in, she's sold. We've got more to come.
We've got those caricatures back yet?
No, we've barred the caricatures.
I can't wait to see how good Quinny's hair looks in the
Barely a moment. Colt in the stables now in Perth with John Price. There's a couple of shares available in that. And there's a Keep the Faith filly in Melbourne with Luke Oliver. And she's going nicely as well. And we're about to syndicate a horse in Queensland. So keep us in the loop. You can follow us on Twitter at Grand Syndicates or go to the website grandsyndicates.com.au. All shares $1,000, $6 a day, no more to pay.